Hey, I'm Tryon Cooper here at Zia Comics at 909 New York Avenue. Zia Comics is your home for all things awesome. We have collectibles, comic books, manga, RPGs, board games, basically anything nerdy under the sun, we carry it.
So, Tryon, how long have you been working for Zia Comics?
As of October last year, it's been 10 years now.
10
Yeah.
years. How'd you end up with Zia?
Through happenstance, randomly, I started as a customer who was going to the game nights every week and then just became friends with everybody and kind of became a fixture around the store. And then through, oddly enough, wanting to do my own video production stuff, filming people playing board games to put on the internet. And then when a position opened up to be the board game teacher, they asked if I wanted to come on. I was like, yeah.
So, are you from Las Cruces originally, or?
Not originally. So I was born in a tiny, tiny town in Montana.
Okay.
And at 13, my parents decided, let's just flip the map over and move to New Mexico. And so I basically lived in New Mexico for the majority of my life.
Do you know much about the history?
Oh, yeah. So Zia Comics started in 2012, actually, because weirdly enough, the owner is a comic book fan, go figure. And he had been getting he had set up a comic book subscription through another retailer. And some time went by, none of his books ever came in. So he just checked out and decided, well, no need to check on it if they're not going to get any of the things that I asked for. A few months go by, they call him and tell him that they're about to charge his card for all of these delinquent books that he hasn't been getting. And he's like, well, I came in every week and you never had anything. So I just didn't bother coming in anymore. So being a good subscriber, he was like, fine, I will come pay for my books. Picked up his books and said, and close my account. And in a moment of frustration with his wife, he was like, I feel like I could do a better job. Now, he worked at NASA at the time.
Oh my gosh.
So very different field.
Yeah.
He came home the next night and she had a business license and a storefront rented and said, "You think you can do better? Do it."
So, are you the only employee here, or are there other?
For here, we have one other employee, my
Okay.
coworker, Jaden. They're usually here on the weekends, which mercifully, after 10 years, I finally have weekends off.
Can you tell us a story about like your favorite interaction with a customer at this location?
There's actually been a lot. I've had a number of little kids come in. They
Hmm.
get super excited about comic books, and just to have their day completely made because they found a comic book that they were looking for. We've had a number of board gamers come in because our selection, though similar to Las Cruces, is slightly different.
Oh.
We have to kind of be tastemakers and cater to what people want here more so than if you have a ton of space. But I've had a number of board gamers come in and be like, "Oh, I've been looking for this game forever. I went to your other store, they didn't have it." Like, well, ask them,
Hmm.
they could get it. But I'm glad you found it here. But yeah, I think just overall people being excited that there is something for fans of pop culture, for the nerdy culture.
So, what would you say the taste of Alamogordo is? Like, what do you see? Are they RPGers? Are they like what have you noticed?
Dungeons and Dragons has exploded in even more popularity as
Hmm.
it's the 50th anniversary this year.
Oh wow.
So there's been even more people getting into the hobby. So that's been pretty big. I'd say probably our top 3 are definitely the anime stuff, the comic books, and the tabletop being well, probably comic books first, then anime, and then tabletop stuff as a close third.
That's cool. Do you get a lot of artists and stuff in here?
We do actually. So during any special events that we have, like Free Comic Book Day, which is usually the first Saturday of May, Halloween Trick or Read, which is I believe the last Saturday in October, we'll usually get in-store guests. So we've had like during our grand opening, we had Raymond Gay, who's a featured guest at El Paso Comic Con now. So we've had a number of artists come in and we set them up with basically their own booth space, where right now is actually where the checkout counter is
No, okay.
located. But we usually turn that area into an entire booth for our artists.
So, if someone's never been in here before and they're thinking about coming to visit, can you
Mhm.
kind of walk us through what their experience would be coming in the front door?
Through the front door, usually that the first reaction I almost always get is people go, "Wow!" And then you get the what I like to call the TARDIS effect, where people go, "Wow, it's much bigger than it looks out front."
Yes.
Um,
Yes, it is.
Says people don't realize this building goes back a ways. The third is finding something you didn't know you wanted, because very often what will happen is people will kind of start to do the loop through the store and go, "Oh, they have anime. Oh, look, they have Funko Pop. Oh, they have RPGs. Oh, they have board games, right? And just continue to find stuff. There's usually a moderation level of squee that comes from people when they get towards the arcade in the back, because they go varying degrees. You'll usually hear, that the bigger guys like, oh wow, look, they got pinball machines, or you'll hear, kids go "Ah!" and run off. Um, so differing degrees of excitement that people, find out that, hey, there's an arcade. You can just come and like get a roll of quarters and jam on games all day.
So we just made a joke about coming in the front door.
Yes.
Right. So clearly construction is turning us into a dust bowl down here
Yes.
right now. And the wind's.
Oh, I've had to sweep it a number of times.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know. I've started telling people, don't wear your good shoes right now. Just wear your dirty shoes. Yeah. I mean, I got my dust kickers on,
Yeah.
but how's it been with construction? What's been your experience? And then what's been your experience with the crews? What do you think about the crew and everything that's been working?
I mean, the crew's they're super friendly. You see them walking through, everybody gives a wave. Most of them seem pretty happy overall. I'm sure they don't have the easiest job. I know I don't work construction for a reason, because I know the type of work that you have to do. As far as the construction impacting us, it hasn't. I mean, has there been less people wandering up and down the sidewalk as there was? Of course, but that's every construction site, right? Most people don't want to walk through what they think could be potentially a hazard, even though they're well within safety limits. I don't think we've ever had an errant rock or anything kick up. Dust, but we live in the desert. That's nothing new. But has it impacted? A little, but not as bad as I think a lot of people assume. Where I get people coming in and they're like, "Oh, I'm glad to see your doors are open." Like, yeah, we're still here. The bills are getting paid, thankfully. I hope they continue to do so. If we can get more than the bills paid, that would be even better.
Oh, yeah.
But as long as the owner doesn't call me and say I'm out of a job, then it's going okay.
So what are you looking forward to most about post-construction?
Honestly, I think just seeing more people realize that there is stuff to do downtown, because, we've been here almost 2 years. I still get people who come in and didn't even know that we're here.
Yeah.
I've had people come in and they're like, "Oh, you guys just opened, right?" No, we've been here for a while.
So one of the things Main Streets are always talking about is that, small businesses really are the backbone of
Mhm.
especially small communities, but any
Yeah.
community, and it's these locally owned businesses that help communities survive things like COVID or
Right.
survive economic downturns and stuff like that. And so can you talk a little bit about how like the role Zia Comics plays in the community here in Alamogordo?
Sure, absolutely. So, of course, I think the biggest role that we play is providing people escapism, right? Everybody has a day-to-day grind. Everybody
Oh,
has life, everybody has bills, everybody has school, everybody has work. I've said for years that my favorite part of the job is providing smiles, right? The last few years have taught a lot of people, you have to treat yourself nice, because who knows what happens tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's our biggest contribution, is providing people that 5 minutes away from it all, right?
Mhm.
You come in, you find a comic book. You come in, you find a board game, something to just fill time and enjoy your life together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what our biggest service is that moment for you to come and just forget about work, forget about the bills, have fun, be a kid again.
What's some stuff coming up that you want everybody to know about?
I am incredibly excited for some of the events. Of course, we just had El Paso Horror Fest passed, and apparently it was phenomenal. I unfortunately didn't have a chance to make it because El Paso is a little bit of a drive for me doing this, but I have already made arrangements to go to El Paso Comic Con, which is coming up in April. And then, of course, just a few weeks after that is Free Comic Book Day.
Okay.
So that's the first Saturday in May. I believe it's May 3rd. We generally will have an in-house artist or guest of some sort. We haven't fully nailed that down yet. We're still in talks with a couple folks. We usually get some cosplayers to come out if people want to take photos.
Cool.
We've done all kinds of different stuff, and we have a ton of free books to give away.
Nice.
So people can just come in, and even if you've never read a comic book before, you can come in, get one, and find out if it's something for you.
Cool.
I build community by being everybody's hype man.
I I like that. Hype man.
Yeah. I'm that guy in the rap group that stands in the back and is like, yeah, get 'em. I'm that guy.